Hi, my name is Gabby, and today I'm going to introduce an entrepreneur and explain on how I accomplish this subject. To start off, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite brand? Some may say Dior, Louis Vuitton, or Gucci, but for me, I have to say Tory Burch. And not only because of the uniqueness in her products, but also her efforts that went into it. And now I'm going to tell you how Tory Burch became a successful entrepreneur. 2004, an eye-catching, luxurious orange clothing shop opened in New York City. The uniqueness and wild style soon attracted a lot of customers. Even some famous movies and shows like Gossip Girls introduced their clothing lines in it. Since then, it continues to gain popularity and now has 37 branches in the United States and Asia. People may say Tory born in a rich family, but it actually didn't make it easy for her to start a business. No need to say it became a well-known brand. So, in the following session, I will describe what 3 characteristics she has to become this successful. And the first one you can see is creativity. When talking about Tory Burch, people always talk about her bold colors, luxurious printing, and of course, Ray-Ban shoes. In a time where everyone wears high heels, Tory created these elegant, practical, and most importantly, comfortable black shoes. Soon, it gained a huge amount of popularity for Tory Burch. Almost every Hollywood actress wears it. If Tory didn't have the creativity to make these modern style shoes, this brand wouldn't be so successful. And secondly, is visionary. Tory Burch always expects herself to be a person who has curiosity and innovative. At the New York Fashion Week 2014, she was the first person who used Google Live Bus to stream her show. People can easily watch the show from their computer. This move shocked the market, and she ended up earning a lot from it. She wouldn't got the nickname of Modern Queen without her vision. And the final one is motivation. In the beginning of Tory's career, her own kitchen was her office. She had to take care of her child, whole house, and do some random jobs. While working on new ideas, even though it was very frustrating, Tory loves her family. She often says that her children are the muse of her ideas. A lot of clothes and bags are named after them. So with all motivation from her family and herself, I think Tory wouldn't have the determination to stick in this business. And in conclusion, I think Tory is the perfect example of a strong woman. She said, "Every experience is the nutrient of my brand." She never gives up and keeps improving herself. And with creativity, vision, and motivation, 3 characteristics, she succeeds in the end. And that's my presentation. Thank you all for listening. And now I'm going to talk about how I make presentation. You can see the first one is introduction. In the beginning, I quickly describe my topic, what I'm going to talk about, the purpose of my presentation. And the secondly is body. In the case, I use 3 stories to explain creativity, visionary, and motivation. This is the part where you always talk about the cause and the effect. And the final one is conclusion. In this part, I include a brief summary of the main points and end with my own thoughts. And that's a simple presentation outline I often use. And that's all of my presentation. I hope you learned something from it. Thank you all for listening.
Good afternoon, I'm Min. Today, I'm going to talk about Apple Inc., or more specifically, Steve Jobs. When we think of Steve Jobs, an image of a bitten apple pops up in our head. However, apart from being the founder of Apple Inc., he was also the founder of Next Inc., a computer software company, and the first majority shareholder of Pixar, a famous animation company. Born on February 24, 1955, he was adopted and raised in San Francisco, California, United States. He died of respiratory arrest on October 5, 2011. In 1976, he co-founded Apple Inc. with Steve Wozniak, the guy with the beard, and Ronald Wayne, the guy standing between them. Together, they released Apple I. Apple I was not really a ready-to-use computer. It was just a circuit board, and customers still needed to buy components such as keyboard, case, TV monitors in order to use it. And this is what it will look like when everything is put together. The next year, Apple II was released. It was one of the first highly successful mass-produced microcomputers. During the production period of Apple II, Apple Inc. sold around 6 million units. In 1984, Macintosh, featuring innovative user interfaces, was released. Unlike Apple II, it was not favored by the market due to its high price and also limited application libraries. And this caused problems for Steve Jobs. And after a power struggle between executives, Steve Jobs resigned from Apple Inc. and founded his own company, NeXT Inc. NeXT Inc. specialized in hardware and software developing, introduced his first workshop computer in 1988. It was sold for $6,500, which is equivalent to $14,100 in 2019. It didn't hit the market due to its high price, so the company decided to shift its focus to software developing. In 1986, apart from running his own business, Steve Jobs also founded the spin-out of the graphics group from Lucasfilm Computer Division and became its first majority shareholder. With the financial help, the company was able to produce many masterpieces, such as Toy Story in 1995, A Bug's Life in 1998, and my favorite, Monster Inc. in 2001. In 1997, after facing financial difficulties and losing its focus on products, Apple Inc. decided to hire Steve Jobs back by buying NeXT Inc. After the returning of Steve Jobs, many products are released, such as iPod in 2001, iPhone in 2007, and iPad in 2010. The releasing of these products has changed our life completely, and also the way we interact with digital devices. At least for me, I can't imagine how my life would be like without those devices. We can see from how he achieved, he had been ups and downs, and this past experience paid off when he returned to Apple. And this reminds me of a quote: "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." Meaning everything you learned in the past will someday lead you to a future where you can make a use of it. I remember when I was in Pittsburgh State University as an exchange student, I took my first time British literature class. I was required to read 8 books that semester in order to pass the class. I was panicked. I didn't know what to do. So I told myself I need to calm down and just trust myself. And therefore, I was able to use what I learned in the past to help me pass the class. And finally, I got an A for the class. Here is what I want to tell you. Believe yourself and trust yourself, and use what you learned to help yourself. And that's all of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Ting. Due to the coronavirus, so I want to present my PowerPoint by recording a video. And today my topic is my life in Pittsburgh State University. I went to America for an exchange student last year, so I want to share my life and school to you guys. And here is my content. Later I will talk about the introduction of Pittsburgh State University, my daily life, and the other activities I do in America. Okay, let's start with the introduction of Pittsburgh State University. I will talk about its location, housing, and dining. Pittsburg State University is located in Pittsburg, Kansas, and Kansas is the state in the center of America. And Pittsburgh is a really small town. It's not like a big city such as New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago, and its population is about 20,000. So you can imagine how small it is. The next one is my residence hall, and we have two choices. You can live in campus or live outside, and for me, I choose to live in a campus because I think it's more convenience and safety. And our school also have a rule that if you want to live in a campus, you need to buy the meal plan. So I post several kinds of meal plan here. There are 7-day access, 5-day access, or $900 dining dollars. And dining dollars means that you give money to school and school will help you to put into your student ID cards like this. And you can use this card to buy your food in the campus. So you don't need to bring your cash, credit cards, even your cell phone. It is really convenient. Okay. And next is the dining hall in the campus. The first one is the Gibson Dining Hall. It is a little bit special because the food inside is that all you can eat, and it is cost $7.75 once. And the next one is the Gorilla Crossing, and it is like student restaurant in Taiwan. So there are several kinds of food that you can choose, such as hamburger, sandwich, pizza, pasta, or bagels. And you also can use your cash or credit card or student ID card to buy for it. Let's move on my daily life. I will talk about my study and test and shopping. And actually, most of my time I go to the class or study in my room because America is not like in Taiwan, just has a midterm exam or final exam. We have to take the exam once a month. So it's really hard for me. And so I need to spend more time to study. But I still have other free time. And in my free time, I will choose to go to the Walmart. And the Walmart is a big supermarket in America. And you can find everything you need in it, such as fruits, vegetables, drinks, snacks, or any other stuff that you will need in your daily life, such as tissue or shampoo. And in the other times, I will also hang out with my friends to Pittsburgh downtown to have a coffee or have a dinner or lunch and share our daily life in the coffee shop and talk about something interesting that encounter in school. And the last one is the other activities that I do in America. And I will introduce my friendship family, TSA. And TSA means the Taiwan Student Association, and my full break. Okay, the friendship family means that you can sign up in our school's website, and school will help you to pair an American family. And I think this is really helpful for exchange students because the French family can help you solve any problems and also will invite you to hang out with them. And let's move to the TSA, Taiwan Student Association. And this is like a club. And if we have the free time, the Taiwanese student will get together and talk about something interesting in America or in Taiwan. And this photo took on the Moon Festival. We have a barbecue party together. Okay, the last one is the full break. And if you study in America, you will have a full break in the first semester and the spring break in the second semester. And this full break, we have 4 days. So we choose to visit Dallas in Texas. And it takes 6 hours to drive from Pittsburgh to Dallas. So the total is 12 hours. Although it's really tired, but I still think that it's a really an awesome experience for me to travel with my friends in the United States. So if you have a chance to be an exchange student or study in America, I highly recommend that you have to go to a travel. And actually, I do a lot of activities in America, but because of the time, I have to stop here. So if you have any question about my presentation or how to be an exchange student, you can write down this video, and if I see, I will try my best to reply you. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Xin. Today I'm so glad to be here to share some experience about American culture and what I see and I feel in Pittsburgh State University. If you are interested in how the Americans celebrate the festivals or their traditional events, I would like you to pay your attention. I will talk 4 points of this topic. There are football game, homecoming parade, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. First of all, football is a common sport in the USA. There are free food for everyone who is going to the football game, like Coke, hamburger, or hot dog. And college students can get free tickets by their student ID cards. As everyone knows, the game field is very large. It's about 110 meters in length and 49 meters in width. Although I didn't understand the rules well, I still can enjoy the atmosphere with others around me. Secondly, homecoming parade is an annual tradition in churches and colleges. It usually begins in the early October. Residents and students come together to welcome back former members in the community. People walk, dance, and play the instruments during the activity. And in Pittsburgh, the event is held on the main road in downtown. The most special of all, there were exchange students from 13 different countries in Pittsburgh State University, so we could gather and share cultural difference. That's also the most interesting part of my exchange student life. Next is Thanksgiving. It's a national holiday celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. Traditional Thanksgiving dinner includes turkey, salad, mac and cheese, and mashed potato with cranberry jam. Also, there were so many kinds of sweeties like pumpkin pie or walnut pie. Because my friendship family, Jenna, invited me to their dinner, I brought some tiny snacks like gummy candy, crackers, and pineapple cakes. And I found that the Americans really like tiny snacks. The photo on the left is my first full turkey. Jenna asked me to do it. She just said, "Hey Shin, could you please help me with it?" and show me a picture. And I replied, "Sure, I will try my best to do it." So my first full turkey was born. And I think it's a new and fresh dish to stand for Thanksgiving. The day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday shopping day. The Americans are really crazy about the discount because the prices are extremely low. And the photo on the right is Jenna's daughter. She was so bored and confused and couldn't know what were the adults doing. Finally, Christmas. The photos show the traditional Christmas parade in Pittsburgh. It usually happens in the first week of December. And as the homecoming parade, people walk, dance, and then sing some Christmas songs. There was a special part. The children from church played a story about Christmas Eve. They dressed up as little angels, and there was baby sheep and donkeys. From the beginning of December, you can see a lot of Christmas decorations along the street. That's the reason why Christmas is my favorite, because there aren't so many Christmas decorations in Taiwan. But in the USA, there are so many, even in the supermarket. Some places become tourist attractions, like Tulsa. It's a city near Pittsburgh, and we were there for one-day trip. We did roller skating and sightseeing. So, as an exchange student for one semester in Pittsburgh State University, I can't say I totally understand the culture, but I strongly encourage the peers who has keen interest in American culture to be there to create their own journeys or lives. And I hope this topic is useful for you. Thanks for your listening.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dr. Joseph Anthony Narciso Zalamiantiaco, and I'm a teacher at CUDA University. So thank you very much for this opportunity for us, the faculty of the Department of Applied Foreign Languages, to just be able to, share with you some of the things that we do, at the university. So for today, I'm going to talk about, how we can just improve our presentation skills. Okay, so presentation skills are very, very important. Go into business if you want to connect, or you are able to communicate to others. And so today, I hope to share with you some, tips and strategies on how you can do a presentation. And if I ask you guys, I'm sure, how many of you feel nervous or anxious whenever your teacher asks you to stand in front of the classroom? Raise your hand. How many of you, you don't feel comfortable, or you even just, you don't want to do it. You don't want to even participate, whenever your teacher asks you to do a presentation. Just raise your hand. How many of you are like that? Believe it or not, I'm just like you guys. There was a time I was really terrified. I was really so terrified about doing presentations. So in fact, let me tell you a story. In fact, when I was in high school, whenever our teacher would assign a presentation task, or we had to do a presentation in front of the class, okay, I've developed a reputation. My classmates would tease me as Mr. Tiangco. So that's how my classmates would call me. Okay, so because in the Filipino language, so I'm from the Philippines, in the Filipino language, Tiangco sounds like, it sounds like stomach, And so whenever there's a presentation, okay, the teacher would just ask, so where is Mr. Tiangco? Where is he? How come Mr. Tiangco is not here? So look at the picture, so look at the picture right now. What do you see? Try to guess. So whenever the teacher asks, where is Mr. Tiangco? Why isn't he here? Because, there's a presentation right now. So try to guess, what am I doing? You see, I was just too scared and nervous that I often had to go to the bathroom. So I frequently go to the bathroom, whenever I feel nervous. So that was how I was when I was in high school. So that's why my classmates would call me, masakit ang tiyan, meaning Mr. Painful Stomach. Okay, I realized that I had to do something about it. I had to just be able to overcome, my fear of doing presentations, and to overcome it because, there were higher things at stake. I couldn't just let my fear control me. And in that process of trying to overcome my fears of doing a presentation, I've learned some tips and strategies. English is a lingua franca. You have to ask yourselves, you really need to ask yourselves, why are you learning the English language? Why do you have to learn English? You need to ask this question, and you need to be able to convince yourself that there is a good answer. And this good answer, this powerful answer, is way beyond, okay, it's enough to convince you that you have to overcome whatever problems or hindrances or challenges there are. Okay, that is, that might be stopping you from trying to improve your English language skills. Because if in the very first place, in your thinking, in your mind, you don't really see any purpose. Okay, you don't really see any end goal. There's no end goal. Why are you learning English? What you see as an end goal is because it's just a required subject. Your teachers just want you to learn English. Then, if in your mind this is your thinking, then behaviors will follow. You will not feel really motivated. You won't see of a great importance, to improve your English language skills. That's why you have to convince your mind that, this is really very important right now. And you have to think that, okay, English is a lingua franca. So meaning, if you want to internationalize, if you see yourself one of these days working, for example, in a international company, or you see yourselves, traveling around the world, there's a big chance that you will have to speak in English. You will have to speak in English, whether you are, in the US, Australia, or you go somewhere here in Asia, in Thailand or Malaysia. There's a big chance you will need to use the English language, just to be able to communicate to others. So you need to convince yourself, there's a bigger importance, there's a bigger use, there's a bigger purpose for you to learn English. And when you're able to do that, if you're able to convince yourself, then it gives a sense of purpose to whatever challenges you might face. Okay, so when I was young, eventually I told myself, I told myself, I hope I can, sell things. I hope I can, improve my skills so that I can, just communicate with people so that, I can sell something to them, whether I can sell an idea or I can sell a product. When I was in high school, wow, believe it or not, I have some classmates who were too lazy, to go to the canteen or to go to the cafeteria to buy food, whether it's just drinks or a sandwich. And so, I had this habit. My mom would give me money to buy food, and sometimes, my mom would give me an extra drink or an extra sandwich. I would actually sell. I would sell to my classmates, my food. I will sell to my classmates my drinks. I would buy things, and sell it to my classmates. So I remember I would even I used to sell to my classmates a gel for just fixing the hair. I would buy it from a certain place and then sell it to my classmates for a more expensive price. So I did that in high school. And so, I told myself, I hope someday I can become better, in just communicating so I can sell ideas and I sell products to people. And I never realized that somewhere along the road, aside from being a teacher, aside from teaching at Chuda University, I sell products. Okay, so I'm helping my wife. We have a company that sells Turkish olive oil here in Taiwan. And in doing that, you have to communicate with people. You have to meet people. You have to talk with different kinds of people. And it's not easy. I still feel nervous, but I always try to remember those different tips and strategies just to help me, be able to overcome my anxiety. So aside from selling olive oil, I'm also involved in some social projects for Syrian refugees. So I get to talk with even people who do not speak the same language. Okay, so these are Syrian refugees and even Turkish who are living in Turkey, and you know they speak Arabic or they speak Turkish. I only speak English, and so I need to communicate with someone who can speak English and Turkish and Arabic, and to just communicate with these groups of people so that we can understand each other and find a way to just work with each other. And so, it's not easy. You have to just overcome that fear of communicating, that fear of just being in front of so many people with so many eyes looking at you. And how do you do that? Like what I said, very first, a bigger purpose. You have to always think, there's a bigger purpose. So maybe you can think, if you join a contest, what's the biggest purpose? You want to win. You want to earn that money, that prize. You want that recognition. So let that bigger purpose, shape and help you control your fears and your anxiety. Because again, between having a bigger purpose and no purpose at all, if you don't set any purpose for yourself, then chances are your anxieties will control you, your emotions will control you. But if you set up and establish, I have a bigger purpose, I have a bigger goal in mind. And so, because I have a bigger goal in mind, whatever fear, whatever anxiety that I'm feeling right now, I have to control it because of that bigger purpose. So, that bigger purpose is very important. And the next is your presentation skills. So, actual presentation skills. And I need you to remember, okay, there are certain strategies on how you can just improve and become better, as you stand up in front of the stage. And whether you are going to do a presentation on stage, or you're going to deliver a speech, a written speech. Okay, so there's specific strategies, and I just want to share with you these different strategies that I find really very useful and helpful. Okay, and you might feel weird, how they are related, but just let me explain to you. Okay, one powerful tip I really recommend is listen and sing to English songs. I encourage everyone, listen and sing English songs. Go to the KTV, sing with your friends. Because, number one, if you listen to English songs, you get to improve your English speaking. Many students, they sound like a robot when they talk because they lack this melody when they talk. But if you listen to English songs, you sing, you get to improve your pronunciation. When we talk, our sound when we talk, it's not just like one sound. Listen and sing to English songs. My name is Jan Tianco, and I'm from Shuda University. Many students are like that. It's like a robot, okay? And you see, when you listen to English songs and you sing songs, you become more melodic when you communicate. So songs are very powerful. And how can you do that? You can use YouTube. Okay, so listen to songs on YouTube. On YouTube, you can control, a variety of things. You can search for songs that you like, songs that you love. You can look for songs with their lyrics, so you can study the lyrics and listen to the song. You can also look for the KTV version, the karaoke version. So use YouTube. It's very important. Okay. Number two, shadow newscasts, those news reports. News reports are one of the most challenging, ways of practicing, because earlier singing songs, we enjoy listening and singing songs, okay, but the news report is quite different, because the newscaster or the news reporter, they have to speak fast. If you listen to a regular CNN, broadcaster, they will speak really fast in describing the story. And so use that. When I say shadow, if you're able to just recognize the English words, try to repeat what they're saying. Listen, repeat. And by using YouTube, when you use YouTube, you can just easily stop, rewind, or forward. You can slow down the speed. So you have that control. So listen to newscasts and just shadow until you get used to pronunciation, until you get used to, being able to talk at a certain speed and style. Next, practice storytelling. If you really want to be able to just improve your presentation skills, remember, a presentation, just like what Chris Anderson mentioned, we tell stories, we piece together ideas. Okay, when you tell a story, a story is the most natural communication that we do with people. When you see your friend, you tell a story. You tell a story about, someone you like in school. You tell a story about a teacher. When you talk with your parents, you tell a story. Keep on practicing storytelling. Engage people. Don't be afraid to just talk with people. Talk about stories. Because whenever you tell a story, you just get used to telling stories. And the more that you get used to telling a story, you just improve your storytelling ability. Okay? And so it's very important, you just keep on practicing storytelling. Next, I'm sure everyone here owns a video camera or, a cell phone. So I guess, use your cell phone, a new purpose, not just for playing online games, okay, or listening to music. Use your cell phones to improve your presentation skills, because the only the best way, I think, for you to improve your presentation skills is by being able to see yourself. You are your best teacher. Okay, record yourself talking, presenting. When you record yourself, you get to see, are you happy with your facial expression? Do you have a certain smile? Do you have a certain look or angle? Okay, do you have a certain move, the way your hands move, the way you stand? All of these become clear and evident only if you can see yourself. And how do you do that? Record yourself or use a mirror. And so when you use a mirror or you record yourself, you get to see. Oh, maybe, you get to see that you didn't know that whenever you do a presentation, you're always scratching your face. In the presentation, you scratch your face, so many times. And not because your face was really itchy. I'm sure in most cases when people touch their nose or they play their hair, it's not because it was itchy, but because they were nervous. So when you understand how you react unconsciously when you're nervous, then it gives you a chance to find a better position. It gives you a chance to do something about it. Okay, so remember, use a camera, learn from your videos. Okay, and then learn to improve your vocabulary skills. Read, learn more words, learn word groupings. Okay, so word forms. So for example, you have the word beauty. The word beauty can be beautiful, beautify, speak, speaking, spoken. So words have different word forms. Learn the different word forms, because when you do that, you expand, you grow your vocabulary. And when you grow your vocabulary, it's, you do a presentation wherein you don't repeat the words. You're able to use different kinds of words as you speak, which is very important. Okay, and the more that you do a presentation, the more that you try to broaden your vocabulary, then you become a better speaker. Maybe a 1 minute presentation is difficult for you because you have very limited vocabulary, but through practice, okay, you learn more words, you improve your vocabulary. The next step is do a 3-minute presentation. When you master doing a 3-minute presentation, then expand, do 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, until even you're doing just a 1-hour presentation. You can be like a teacher. You can be like an online YouTuber. YouTubers, they can just talk and talk. It's like, they don't run out of things to say. That's because they have expanded their vocabulary. Use visual aids, PPT, learn how to use a PPT, develop, very nice visuals, learn what are the key principles in developing nice visual aids, and also, make sure you practice. Keep on practicing. Find opportunities to just, be in front of people. It's like exercising. If you don't go to the gym, if you don't exercise, then you don't grow your muscles. You don't get stronger. You don't get faster. It's the same with any skill, with any ability. The more that you do it, you just get better. And so if you just keep on finding opportunities to do a presentation, then you get better. Okay? So in summary, so take note of those tips, watch YouTube videos, listen to songs, shadow news reports, okay? Learn about word forms, practice your storytelling, use a mirror, use your cell phone, okay? And then learn how to just talk with a PPT, in explaining a PPT, and then make sure, look for opportunities to, do a presentation. So with that, I hope that you're able to just find ways to develop yourself. As Ralph Waldo Emerson mentioned, no one, okay, so all the great speakers that we know, all the great speakers were bad speakers at first. Okay, so there's always hope. So just like what I said, there was a time, I would do my presentation in the bathroom because I was scared. Okay? So I don't consider myself as a great speaker, but I'm trying to improve myself. But remember, all great speakers were bad speakers at first. You just have to keep on trying. Okay, so with that, I end the presentation. So thank you very much, and I hope to see all of you. I hope to see all of you at Chuda University as my student one of these days. Bye-bye.